It was just after midnight when Ethan, a 34-year-old single father, heard the knock at the door. The cold winter wind whistled through the cracks in the windows. And inside their modest two-room house, his 7-year-old daughter Lily was fast asleep under a pile of patched-up blankets. Ethan was hesitant who would be knocking at this hour. With a cautious heart, he opened the door to find a young woman, no older than 20, shivering in a hoodie soaked from the rain. Her eyes were wide with fear and exhaustion, her hands trembling. "Please," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "I just need a place to stay for the night. I won't cause trouble." Ethan didn't have much, but he had a heart too big for his means. Something in the girl's eyes, something broken and lost, moved him. "Come in," he said. She hesitated at first, glancing back at the dark street behind her, then stepped inside, leaving muddy footprints on the worn floor. The girl introduced herself as Maya. No last name, no explanation, just Maya. She didn't want food or money, just a warm place to rest. Ethan handed her one of the extra blankets and let her sleep on the old couch in the living room. He didn't ask questions. He'd been through hard times too. He knew how judgment could feel like a blade. That night, as the storm outside raged on, Ethan watched over the small home, a strange sense of peace growing inside him. For once, he didn't feel alone. The next morning, Lily was the first to meet Maya. She was immediately fascinated by the princess who slept on her couch. Maya smiled for the first time in what seemed like weeks. She helped make breakfast scrambled. Eggs and burnt toast, and even fixed the loose hinge on Lily's toy chest. Ethan found himself smiling too, though he couldn't explain why. But Maya's eyes always wandered to her phone. She'd check it constantly, only to frown when it displayed no signal. "Bad reception around here," Ethan said gently. "That's why I never bother." Maya just nodded and slipped the phone back into her hoodie. She didn't say it, but Ethan could tell. She was hiding from something, or someone. Later that day, Ethan took Lily to school and returned home to find Maya quietly cleaning up. She looked at him, tears threatening to spill. "Thank you for trusting me." Ethan shrugged it off. Everyone deserves a little kindness. Maya didn't say much after that, but before she left, she scribbled something on a piece of paper and left it on the kitchen counter. Ethan didn't notice it until later when she was already gone. It was a phone number. And beneath it, just one word: someday. Viewers, if you've ever wondered what a single act of kindness could lead to, don't go anywhere, because Chapter 2 will completely flip this story upside down. You're going to want to stay for what happens next. Subscribe button so you don't miss Part 2, because trust me, you won't believe what comes next. Chapter 2. The return in a limo. 2 weeks passed. Maya never returned. Ethan tried the number once, but got no answer. He assumed she'd moved on, perhaps found her way back home, wherever that was. Life resumed. Bills piled up. Ethan's job at the local repair shop barely covered groceries. Still, he kept her note tucked away in the back of a drawer as if some part of him knew her chapter in their lives wasn't over. It was a Wednesday afternoon when it happened. Ethan was fixing a broken faucet while Lily was doing homework, when they heard the honk outside. Not the usual rattle of an old truck or the wheeze of a mail carrier's van, but the sharp, polished honk of a luxury car. Ethan opened the door and froze. There, parked in front of their worn-out house, was a black limousine. The driver stepped out, walked over, and handed Ethan a sealed envelope. Confused, Ethan opened it. Inside was a formal invitation to a private dinner at a luxury estate. No name, just a time and address. He almost didn't go, but something in him said he should. So, he wore the only suit he owned to hand-me down from his father, and arranged for a neighbor to watch Lily. When he arrived at the estate, his jaw dropped. It was like stepping into a movie. Gilded gates, marble columns, endless lights. He was greeted at the door by a butler who led him into a grand dining hall. And there at the head of the table sat Maya, but not the frightened girl he remembered. This Maya wore a flowing designer dress. Her hair was styled. She looked confident, poised, yet when she saw Ethan, her eyes softened. "I owe you everything," she said. Ethan was stunned. "What is this?" he asked. Maya stood up and walked. Over to him, my full name is Maya Belmont, daughter of Charles Belmont. Maybe you've heard of Belmont Holdings. Ethan nearly choked. Of course he had. They were one of the wealthiest families in the country. Maya explained how she'd run away from her father after a fight about the family business. She wanted to know what real life felt like, to be seen for who she was, not her bank account. You were the first person to treat me like a human being, she said, not like a problem, not like a paycheck. She then pulled out a folder. I want to invest in you, she said, in your life. In Lily's future, Ethan was speechless. Maya continued. A home, their job, Lily's education, everything. All I ask is you let me be part of your journey, like you were part of mine. Ethan felt his eyes well up with tears. It wasn't just money she was offering, it was gratitude. Real, heartfelt gratitude. A future he thought he'd never see. The following weeks were a whirlwind. Maya helped Ethan buy a better home, set up a repair business of his own, and even enrolled Lily in a private school with a full scholarship. But more than that, she became part of their family, not by blood, but by bond, by a moment of human kindness exchanged on a stormy night. To everyone watching this, ever underestimate the power of compassion. One small act, one night, one choice, it could change a life forever. So if this story moved you, if it reminded you of the good we're all capable of, please hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because stories like this, they're not just fiction, they're hope. We could all use more of that.